collected every low profile keyboard I could find and tested them. So out of the 10 plus options, I'm going to show you my top 5 favorite picks so you can get the perfect low profile for you. Right now, this is the keyboard that I think is the best value. It's the Lo-Free Flow Lite. It's currently on Kickstarter for only $89. For reference, other keyboards on this list are closer to $120. This is the newest keyboard by Lo-Free and it's made quite a splash. When I reviewed it a few weeks ago, I was impressed with it. It comes in a nice cream color along with options for pink or off-white, and you can choose between two sizes, 75% or 98% if you want a number pad. In the top right, you have this volume scroll wheel that feels nice and tactile when you turn it. Listen to it. You also get a toggle switch to swap between wired Bluetooth and 2.4G. So yes, this keyboard is wireless with 3 different connection options. You also get kick a feet on the back, giving you the option of a higher typing angle, although I'm not a fan of the feet that can just fall off easily. The case is all plastic, but the build quality feels really nice. It makes it easy to take on the go. It comes in at 554 grams or 1 pound 3 ounces. If you want something a little more sturdy, I would check out the Lo-Free Flow 84 or keyboard number 4 coming up soon. Oh, did I mention? It sounds amazing. It has a nice creamy sound to it. The gasket mount design and the palm switches work together to make it sound so good. The gasket mount is soft and bouncy when you type, and the palm switches are a type of plastic that produce a nice deep sound. The gasket mount is stiffer than other keyboards, so it doesn't flex quite as much, but hey, it's gasket mounted. There is another switch option that's silent, but unfortunately, you need to buy those switches separately and install them into your keyboard yourself, since this keyboard comes with only one switch option. The biggest downside to this keyboard is the lack of VIA support, an open source browser software that lets you adjust the key settings. Instead, you need to download the software from Lo-Free directly. And once the Kickstarter is over, the price is going to go from $89 to $129, which makes it less of a value purchase and puts it squarely in the competition with the other keyboards on this list. So if you're watching this, stay tuned for the other options. And here's a sound test of both the silent switches and the normal ones. The next keyboard is one you should buy if you prioritize convenience and function over everything else. This is the Logitech MX Mechanical Mini, and it's currently priced at $129, although I was able to buy mine refurbished for $70. It's a 75% keyboard with arrow keys and no number pad. It has some unique features that makes it really convenient to use. My favorite one is the motion sensor that forces the keyboard to wake up before you even start typing, before you press any buttons. So when you press your first key, there's virtually zero delay. Usually you have to tap on your keys while you wait for your keyboard to wake up. With the MX Mechanical Mini, you lose 0 time. I honestly wish this feature was on every single keyboard out there. It's such a nice quality of life improvement. And it's the reason I even included this keyboard on the list. Unfortunately, some of the other aspects on this keyboard are a bit lacking, which I'll talk about soon. The MX Mechanical Mini can connect with Bluetooth or Logibolt, not wired. It can only charge wired. So if you're already using a Logitech device such as the MX Master 3, this keyboard is compatible with the same connector. Logibolt is always reliable for connectivity, and it's really cool to only need one dongle instead of multiple. It does have a relatively small battery at 1500 milliampere hours, but if you turn off the backlight, it can last for months without needing a charge. The downside of this keyboard is that it lacks a lot of the extra touches that the other keyboards have, and frankly, the typing experience is lackluster. It doesn't have a gasket mount, so it's pretty stiff feeling. It's also one of the worst sounding keyboards on the list. The design is plain, there's no knob, there's no scroll wheels. It's made purely for function and convenience, although it'd be more convenient if it could connect via wired too. And here's what it sounds like. Now, if you want a low profile keyboard for the purpose of gaming, this is the keyboard for you. It's the Newfie Air 60 HE, coming in at $120. This keyboard is actually really good for gaming. It comes with these Hall effect switches, which have little magnets inside that lets you do crazy stuff like change the actuation distance, which is how far you have to press for the keys to work. Many people consider Hall effect switches cheating in games like Valorant, CS2, and Overwatch. It has all of the features you look for in a gaming keyboard in 2024 and 2025. So it's got HE switches, rapid trigger, dynamic keystroke, rapid tappy, and more. The Air 60 HE also comes with 8,000 Hz polling rate, making it speed competitive with other major gaming brands like Wooting, Asus, and Corsair. This keyboard has a really interesting design too. I mean, just look at it. The keycaps are purple and translucent on the right side with a purple escape key, and I really enjoy the design choice here. It also includes normal keycaps for these if you don't like it. And it looks gorgeous when the keyboard's plugged in. They also have nice little accents everywhere for the branding. It's really cool. There's also 2 small RGB strips on the left and right side for extra flair, which I think is fun. You can even customize this in Newfie.io, a software that I'll talk about more soon. The keycap shape does make it a lot easier to make mistakes when typing. I feel like they're just a little too flat. On the back, you get this super shiny backplate with the Newfie logo and Air 60 HE on it. And it's got 2 angles for kick-up feet to choose from. I ended up using the lower set of feet, and it helped with my typing accuracy. On the top left, you get a toggle button called Rapid Switch, which lets you create different profiles depending on which operating system you use or even gaming settings. It's an extra element of customization. That's pretty cool to see. The typing experience on this board is surprisingly good, especially for a gaming keyboard, especially for a Hall effect keyboard. It comes with low-profile magnetic jades with an option for the Pro version at $140, so it's $20 more. Pro version sounds a bit thockier, it has a more satisfying bottom mount because it uses palm switch materials, and that's the version that I have. I didn't get a chance to test the standard version, so I can't say for sure what the sound differences are for that. I do wish every low profile keyboard had palm switches. It just makes the typing sound so much better. So the software is a browser-based software called Newfie.io, and I have to say, it's really good. Almost on par with Wootility, which is Wooting's keyboard software that most people consider the best software right now. So it definitely surprised me a bit that Newfie could catch up. The downside is that this is the only keyboard on the list without wireless connectivity, so you have to plug it in for it to work, and the power port is for some reason on the left side, making it a bit awkward to use. I definitely prefer them on the back side of the keyboard instead of the sides. It's also a 60% layout, so it's got no arrow keys, no number pad, no function row. It might be too small for most people who wanted to use it for stuff other than gaming, or for games where you need an F row, like Age of Empires, in which case you'd probably need a second keyboard, or just not use this one. And here's a sound test. If you want a low profile keyboard that sounds amazing, feels amazing, and you don't care how heavy it is, check out this one. This is the Iquinix Magi 65, and it costs $119. Out of all the keyboards, this one has the best build quality by far. It has a unique mounting style called LE tray mount, where there's these silicone dampening bumps on the bottom that make the keyboard feel eerily similar to a gasket mount. It feels great to type on, although some parts of it are uneven, like the top row or the bottom row. The case is fully aluminum, and it's got some nice touches to it, such as this ribbed back plate and interesting X-shaped feet on the back. You can pay around $20 extra if you want the Pro, the Plus version. It's got a scroll wheel, it's got a few media keys. It looks really cool, although I'm not sure how practical it is with how much space it takes. It also has a dongle holder. Ooh, nice. The keycaps have a mix of copper and black, and it looks really cool. I like it. I also like the extra customization they added to the FR4 plate underneath. It makes it feel premium and custom. The keyboard comes with a lot of extra fun things like metal keycaps and this coiled cable. although I would never use the cord cable. I just don't do that anymore. If you want to change the key settings and reprogram it, you can do so with VIA, a browser-based software, which is a real nice quality of life improvement. The downside though is that the Maggie 65 is way heavier than the other options. In fact, it's 65% heavier than the Low Free Flow Lite, and it's got less keys. So if you plan on taking it on the go, it might not be the best option for you. I do wish the switches they opted for were palm, so it would have a creamier sound and a more satisfying bottom mount, but overall, it already sounds pretty good. And if you prioritize a high quality build, it's really nice. It also feels a little bit taller and is a millimeter or two higher in the front than the Low Free Flow Lite. There's no kick-up feet on the back, so you're stuck with one typing angle. Now I do wish they put a toggle switch for easy switching between 2.4 wired and Bluetooth. Instead, you need to use shortcuts on the keyboard to do so, which you can find in the user guide. And the on-off switch is underneath caps lock. Just please put a toggle switch. It would be so much more convenient. I think the Maggie 65 does a lot of what the Low Free Flow 85 does, but better and cheaper. It's got a better typing experience, better build quality, more connectivity options, VIA compatibility, and it's $40 cheaper too, which is why this keyboard made the list and the Low Free Flow didn't. And here's what it sounds like. And now, if you want a keyboard that's super reliable with a chunker of a battery inside, this is the Nufy Air 75 V2, priced at $120. It comes packed with lots of quality of life upgrades and a wide selection of switches and 3 different case colors. It's been a top pick for low profile keyboards for a long time, but in my opinion, it's slowly falling behind, and I'll tell you why soon. Out of all the options, the keycaps are definitely the most colorful. Between the green, the yellow, and the red modifier keys, it's got a fun Google looking vibe to it. And you get these 2 LED cutouts on the side to make it look even more amazing with the RGB turned on. Air 75 V2 comes with a toggle switch between Windows and Mac, so you can do that really easily, and another toggle switch for off, wired, and wireless, so you can connect wirelessly or not. Both of these things make it easy to just plug it in and use it right away. The back of the case is translucent, so you can see the RGB diffuse through the back when it's on. There's a shiny back plate, which is nice, but a huge fingerprint magnet, like right now. Look at those fingerprints. The battery is massive. It's 4,000 milliampere hours, which is by far the largest on this list. It's almost 3 times bigger than the battery on the Logitech MX Mechanical Mini. There are 3 typing angles in total, and the keyboard feels a lot flatter than some of the other options. For low profile keyboards, this is probably a bonus. You get access to VIA, so you can easily program the keys. So why is this keyboard falling behind? Well, it sounds really hollow compared to the other options, and it makes the typing experience feel lackluster and a bit unsatisfying. It doesn't have a gasket mount, so it's more rigid, it's not very soft. To be competitive, they definitely need to catch up with how creamy and thocky and full-bodied these other keyboards like the Flow Lite and the Maggie 65 sound like. Here's what the Nufy Air 75 V2 sounds like. Now, if you made it all the way to the end, make sure to check out my full review of the Low Free Flow Lite. Thank you so much for watching this video.